6 years ago, I made a prediction. I predicted that we were on the cusp of World War III, but that this wasn't going to be a war between nations. This was going to be a war within nations. This was going to be a global civil war, starting in the United States. How's that prediction coming along so far? Well, today, I'm here to tell you what's going on. I'm here to black pill you, and I'm here to white pill you. Because at the end of the day, this contested election down in the United States doesn't matter one hill of beans. What's going to happen is going to happen. You're welcome. So this video is a black pill. It doesn't matter if it's Trump or Biden. This video is also a white pill because it doesn't matter if it's Trump or Biden. See, this video, the reason I was correct in my prediction is because we are experiencing historical forces coming to an inevitable head. And once you understand that, once you understand where we're going, the next 2 weeks don't matter. Because the next 2 weeks, brother, they've already happened. You need to be looking more than 6 inches ahead on the highway. You need to be looking into the distance. And looking into the distance, this bump in the road, this is irrelevant. There's a tanker truck that's fallen over up ahead. So let me try and explain my thinking to you. Let me explain my thinking by asking you a question. What is government? Now, most people hear the word government. They think of these wonderful delineated lines on a map. They maybe think of, well, it's like a company, but for the country, with the president or prime minister as CEO. Nothing could be further from the truth. Asking what a country is like asking what money is. Money doesn't really exist. We just all believe it exists. And so long as we all continue to believe in it, it continues to hold value. We can trade it for things that actually matter. A government is very similar. A government is the collection of institutions which we rely upon to make reality predictable. Taxes, property law, marriage, currency, you name it. It's just that big collective of things. And the simple fact of the matter is that the guy that's nominally in charge has almost zero power. And this is a good thing, most of the time. You don't want a president changing laws every 4 years because then you can't figure out how to run your business. You want marriage to be something ancient and immutable, so at least you know what you're getting into. On and on and on. It's not like a company that, hypothetically at least, if its CEO says, can change direction on a dime. Mazda, my favorite car company, originally they were a cork importer, not a car company. Companies can do that. Countries can't. And that's a good thing. So let's disabuse ourselves of this notion that the president really has that much power, because it's just a collection of civil servants who all pretend they work for something that doesn't actually exist. Next question. What is politics? Politics is the top and the bottom against the middle. The aristocrats and the peasants, while the bourgeoisie does all the work. And once in a while you get a revolution. Now, a revolution is when some of the bourgeois get money and some of the aristocrats get disenfranchised, and so they swap who's the ruling aristocrat. Some of the bourgeoisie get to become aristocrats, and everything else stays the same. That's a political revolution. Third question. Who are you? Who is listening to this video? Who are my audience? I'm going to take a stab in the dark and say roughly half of you are aristocrats that are disenfranchised. They're not following the story that the aristocrats are supposed to story. And the other half of you, you're the bourgeoisie. You're the blue collar. You're the guys actually building things. And what you should be doing is grumbling about those aristocrats and their privileges. That's not what you're doing. In fact, turns out a lot of you are quite pissed off. If you are invested in the present system, this should be very worrying to you. I need to illustrate this a little bit further. Imagine, guys, imagine it was 1970. What would you be doing in 1970? Those of you that come from aristocratic bloodlines, either you'd be glorifying in the Republican Party and hating the poor people, or you'd be hating the Republicans and uplifting the poor people. That would be the peasants. By the way, they always stay poor. They don't matter. They're just pawns on the chessboard. But you're not doing that. You're not playing Republican Party reservation. You're not playing Democrat Party reservation. You guys are doing something else. As for all you blue-collar types, you bourgeoisie, you're not quietly griping about the people in the ivory towers. You're actually pretty damn pissed off because your livelihood has been taken from you. The present system has failed to keep the aristocrats on the reservation, and it's failed to keep the bourgeoisie on the reservation. And that's why. That's why it doesn't matter who wins this election. Whoever wins it, half of the population is going to believe it was stolen, and half of the population is going to be violent. And there is going to be 4 years of violence before we come out the other side. This is not the worst thing that could happen, however. The system of the past 80 years. This is a system designed to kick the can down the road. It's short-term decisions to maintain political power. And the seams are beginning to show, as they always do. I didn't predict all of this because I'm clairvoyant. I predicted all of this because I actually study history. This breakdown was inevitable. They've been kicking the can too far down the road, and the solution that the powers that be are hoping to implement is called the new normal. And I don't think most of you like the new normal, which is a problem. A major problem if your goal is to institute the new normal. So they're going to try. Believe me, they're going to try. But they can't succeed. Not with this many people, both aristocrat and middle class. Too many people pissed off about this. No, they can't pull that off. Yeah, maybe they can put Biden in office. Maybe they can start putting the bug burgers in the supermarket, but they're not going to be able to pull it off. Too many people are angry, are not accepting it. Too many people don't buy that the currency is solvent anymore. And as usually occurs when there are no more diplomatic options, there's no more room for rhetoric. You've got two entrenched sides that won't accept anything but complete victory. War is going to be the result. I don't think I need to explain this. I mean itself. Guys, I've already seen, with the Biden camp declaring victory, Black Lives Matter is turning on Biden. They woke a beast, and that beast is not going back to sleep. They were so desperate, they had to wake the beast. And the beast won't go to sleep. So it really doesn't matter which side wins this one. And it's a black pill. Things are not going back to normal no matter what happens. But it's a white pill as well. Because even if the worst comes to pass, well, it was going to come to pass anyway. Didn't really matter what happened. And coming out the other side, see, we're at one of those cusps of history where the old way cannot continue. And so it won't. When we come out the other side, things are going to be different. Hopefully better. In fact, there's good reason to think they are better. But they will be different. That much you can gamble on. So your question for the immediate future. We've got that tanker up ahead on the highway. What are you going to do about it? Remaining neutral is not an option, sadly. It'd be nice if it was an option. It's not going to be an option. You will be forced to take sides. And actually, it doesn't even really matter which side you take. So there's another white pill. But you will be forced to take sides. But what you can do is not stick your head up above the trenches if there's no need for it. Because there really isn't. This is happening with or without you. This is happening regardless of who the president is. This is happening, and our civilization will come out the other side. So it doesn't need your blood. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be unpleasant. But it is survivable. That's the white pill. There is hope. And if you survive it, a better future awaits. One last thought. A lot of Christians have been talking about the end times. Well, they're right. This is an end time. The number of the beast is 666. If you look up the number 666 in Jewish numerology, it spells Nero. And Nero was a Christian apocalypse. This is a civilizational apocalypse. So, yeah, the Christians are right. This is an end times. But it's not the first, and it ain't going to be the last. So your mission, folks, is to survive this, understand what's coming, not get wrapped up in the moment, and live to build a better tomorrow. Carpe futurum, tene traditum. Aurini out.